Today I want to go over exactly how I profited off of Tesla the past 2 trading days. If you guys have been watching the stock at all, you know on Thursday and Friday, September 11th through the 12th, there was a massive rally on the stock. I had my entry right here. I scaled in around this area and I exited my position somewhere around here. So I caught a big portion of this move. I do think the stock is likely to move higher, releasing from this consolidation. But I'm just going to keep it on my watch list for the coming week. But none of this is financial advice. Do your own research. I'm not here to tell you what to do. I'm just sharing exactly what I did. And something that I want to mention is there's so many influencers out there, trading influencers who are telling you that you can trade futures, the same exact commodity every single day and just scalp for a couple points profit, and they make it sound like it's that easy. But to be honest with you, I think trading futures every day is almost like poison. To the average person, it's going to be very hard finding an edge trading the same exact name every single day. That's just coming from my personal experience. I know a select few people who can do that, but they are very far and few in between. Most likely the person that is trying to teach you online to trade futures every single day, trading ES, NQ, most of the time it's all noise, guys. And let me just show you, let's just pull up a chart of ES. By the way, I trade SPY and QQQ very frequently, and I love trading this. I love trading the markets, the US equities market. The only thing is that for beginners, I think it's almost like poison. You're going to throw your money down the drain. I don't know if you've experienced, blowing funded challenges left and right. Just whenever you feel like you're throwing money down the drain, trying to copy these traders who are telling you all you need is a certain setup every single day, the same setup that you can watch for every single day, that's not how it works, guys. And if you feel like you need to find an edge and you need to climb out of the hole that you're in, something that I do personally is I look for swing trades off of the higher time frames. I look for the same setups. To be more precise, I look for consolidation, tightness of range, and an expansion from that range. And that's where most of my money is made. I'm still trying to master how to scalp. I do like being involved in the markets. I do like taking trades every single day, but I don't do it with full size. Something like Tesla, the past couple days, I did size in a lot more than when I scalp. When the edge is clear, when I know exactly what I'm watching for, when I spend the time to prepare and analyze ahead of time, that's when I like to swing the bat. And some people are out there trying to trade, ES or, whether it's futures on gold or oil, something that you're trying to trade every single day the same exact way. It doesn't work that way. And there are very few people who can do that. I don't want to recommend that you do anything, but at the same time, you have to kind of decipher at this point who's legitimate, who is not. Open up the charts, look at the charts for yourself, and yeah, you don't need anyone to tell you that there's a lot of randomness on ES. So when the price is just whipping through these EMAs, price consolidations you can't look for patterns in price action like this. That's just my personal opinion. So what I like to do is I like to focus on something that is obvious, and it's consolidation breakouts. I like to call it EMA convergence. When price is consolidating in an orderly fashion above the EMAs, Kilomagi says it's surfing the EMAs. That's exactly what I look for. Any top trader that you see who are making hundreds of percents in returns per year after year consistently, what they do is they swing trade, and they trade these consolidation breakouts. They trade with the trend. They don't try to catch every reversal. They don't try to find an edge in these small reversals and small breakouts. They look for orderly consolidation and a breakout on the higher time frames. So that's where I like to find my edge. If you check out the chart here, I was looking on the weekly chart how price was surfing the 9, 21, and 50 EMAs on the weekly time frame. It's consolidating above this level. It's not whipping back and forth like you see here. This is not orderly. When price is whipping back and forth through the EMAs, I find no edge in this kind of price action. When you look at the weekly chart here, you see prices respecting this trend. I see EMAs are holding. I call this the EMA convergence. When the EMA lines are coming close together, it shows a tightness in price, a tight consolidation. And as the EMAs are spreading apart and price is expanding, that's where I like to take my trade. And something that I look for is, although I found the trade on the weekly time frame, I find my entries on the lower time frame. So on the daily chart, I saw this tightness in price action. So this daily chart shows that there was a series of low volume candles, and as price was breaking out from this tight consolidation, on the bigger time frame, I see that price is releasing from this consolidation here. Price is breaking out of this smaller consolidation on the daily time frame. And zooming in even further on the hourly time frame, I see this EMA convergence here too. So price is surfing the 921 and 50 EMA. It's holding above in a very orderly fashion. As price was looking to release from this consolidation, I took my entry here right before the breakout. And as you can see here, we had a massive move. And the reason I can hold, and I'm trusting that price will continue on, is because it's releasing from this tight consolidation. So this is exactly how I caught Tesla. The reason why I took a price target here is I look to take profits after 2-3 days. Whenever price is releasing from consolidation, especially on the daily time frame, price likes to move in a momentum of 2-3 days, sometimes even 5 or 7 days. So I took weekly contracts, and I took some contracts for 2 weeks out. I did roll my contracts along the way. That's something that I want to get into on a future video. But I was de-risking the entire time. I was scaling out, and I caught this move right here. So look for this kind of pattern in the markets. Orderly consolidation above the EMAs, EMA convergence in a very orderly fashion. Let me see if there's another example here that I can find for you. I know there was a good example on Meta. Yeah, if you check here, you see how price is surfing the 9, 21, and 50-day moving averages. It doesn't really matter exactly which EMAs you're using, whether you're using the 9 EMA or 10 EMA. As long as you have something shorter time frame EMA expanding onto a higher time frame EMA, and you see price surfing along on this dynamic level, you see how orderly it is. Price is not whipping back and forth through the EMAs. It's holding above and consolidating. After a tightness in price, it likes to expand. And it takes about 3 to 5 days, sometimes even 7 days, for price to make its full expansion. And it likes to consolidate again. So look for these patterns. If you feel like you're trying to scalp small moves every day on ES and you're just draining your account, look for these kind of patterns here. You see how price is surfing the 9 EMA, is staying above, and it's just consolidating, getting tighter in range. And as it breaks a key pivot level, it likes to expand on volume. These are the types of setups that are going to make you money. So you can trade every day, try to catch these small scalps in day trades, but the big money is going to be made on the higher time frames when there's massive swings. So this is the type of price action you're going to want to catch. So look throughout history on the stocks. Look for these moments where price is consolidating. If you want to check out the biggest movers in the past 10 years, study charts like Nvidia. Let's see if I can find Nvidia here. It's right here. Look at the daily chart. You see how price is surfing the 9 EMA. Volume is getting tighter and tighter. You see a bunch of small volume candles, and you see how this breakout on a high volume candle just leads to 2-3 days of high momentum. I like to trade options, so I take 2 weeks out of expiration and I try to catch these bursts of moves. Same thing here. You see how price is just surfing the 9 EMA, and you see a tightness of range, and you see a massive breakout. 1, 2, 3 days, massive move. Let's see if I can find another example. Same thing here. Price pushed up. It's just surfing the 9, 21, and 50 EMAs. And as it's breaking out and expanding on this tightness of range, you see a burst of 1, 2, 3 days of massive momentum, a couple consolidations after, and then it just continued to break out. So look for these patterns, study it day in and day out, and try to catch these setups. So that's all. You see another one right here. You see how price is consolidating and surfing the 9 EMA, tightness of range, and it breaks out. You know, here it took a little bit of time to play out on this consolidation, but you see how price is tightening up and just surfing the EMA here. And once it broke out, we did have this massive move. You know, this one didn't play out after 2-3 days, but the consolidation that happened right after, as soon as price broke out of this tightness, 2-3 days, massive momentum. So look for these setups. You know, if you're draining your account trying these funded challenges, there's no need to do that. Even on ES or SPY, I spot very few opportunities throughout the year where you can really make big profits on swings when price is just flowing in a certain direction. There's a massive tide of money flowing in, and you know, that's when money is being made. So I want to, you know, encourage you to check the charts for yourself, you know, make your own investment decisions after studying the charts. For me, you know, this is my bread and butter. So I just wanted to make this video, and I'll see you guys in the next one.